Oh, hey there, folks. Today I'm actually going to make bagels. I said I was going to make bagels, and here we are. We're going to make some bagels. All right, so I found a recipe. I'll share the link to the recipe I used, but I'm actually doubling it up because, you know, if we're going to make bagels, I might as well make bagels. So apparently the recipe should do 8 medium-sized bagels, so I'm doubling that up. I'm also going to make a couple small ones. My daughter wants some cinnamon raisin ones, so yeah, I think I'm gonna do mostly. Maybe I'll do some plain. No, screw it. I'm not doing plain. You don't win friends with plain bagels. I'm gonna go with pretty much cinnamon raisin and everything. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I got a cup of water. Pour that in. It's warm water, right? So typically when you're making doughs, you're gonna use warm water. I've got 3 tablespoons of sugar, and I've got 4 teaspoons of yeast. So it's like the instant yeast stuff. So apparently I'm not supposed to stir this or anything. I'm just supposed to leave it. I usually stir things, but you know what? I'm gonna go with the recipe, let them do their thing, and I'm gonna wait 5 minutes, and then we'll get to the next steps. Hey, we're back. Okay, so I used the wrong bowl I needed this for my flour, and I only got 1 bowl right now because the rest are dirty. So I moved my yeast to my measuring cup, and it got a little foamy. So yeah, there's a lot of head on that yeast there. So now what I'm gonna do is add some salt. I've got 3 teaspoons of salt. Add that in there. I'm just gonna mix it around. And then I'm just going to create a well in the middle, and that's where I'm going to pour my yeast and sugar and water. There you go. Oh yeah, it's nice. Good bit of foam there. And then I'm going to put another 2/3 of a cup of water in here. Warm water, that is. And then now I'm going to just start mixing. Play the mixing game. Use my hand. Gonna get a little messy, but hey, it sure is fun. All right, just kind of incorporate that all in. Gonna get a nice dough. The thing about kneading dough, I'm not quite at the kneading point yet, is you gotta be patient, right? It takes form eventually. Don't just keep adding a bunch of water in there. Only add in water as needed. No pun intended. And just keep giving her. Alright, so it turns out I'm going to need a lot more water than this. Recipes for making dough are kind of weird. Sometimes they give you way less. I mean, dough is kind of one of those things that if you know the texture you're looking for, which is like elasticy, it doesn't stick to your hands, that sort. As you see right now, like I've still got a lot of flour I gotta incorporate. So I'm gonna add a bit of water at a time. Don't over water. I gotta stress that, it's very important here. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Alright, just keep incorporating that in. Alright, at this point, I actually think I added a little bit too much water. As you can see, kind of sticky. But it doesn't really matter that much because I'm going to put some flour down on the surface here, and we're going to knead it out on the counter like the days of old. Alright. Okay. Stuff out of the way. Now we can really have a go at it. You know, you want to knead things when you're making dough. You want to knead it for at least 5 to 10 minutes. There's no quick way to make a dough unless you're using a stand mixer, which I do own, but it's not like an industrial one or anything like that, so it kind of sucks when it comes to making a bread dough. It's great for other things though. Let's just keep rolling this out. Don't mind my heavy breathing. A lot of shape. All right, so I think I'm good on the kneading part. If you want to see what good dough looks like, it's nice and smooth. If I poke it, it's punching back at me, nice and elasticy, and just feels all around lovely. So now what I'm gonna do, got my bowl, got some olive oil, just gonna put a little bit in. What I'm gonna do is take a paper towel, just rub that bowl, get it nice and greased up, nice and shiny like that. Now I'm gonna take the ball of dough, put it in there, and I'm actually gonna flip it over so the one side's a little oily too. And now I'm gonna let it rise for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna put a damp dishcloth on top, and we'll be right back. All right, so I kind of lied when I said you'd only have to let it sit for a half hour. Apparently you gotta leave it for about an hour, so that's what I did. Try to stick it in a warm place. It's actually really good to make dough when you're cooking other things, like you have the oven on or the stove on. Kind of put it near that. Obviously don't put it like in the oven, that would be silly. But what you want to do is it's like double in size. I'm just gonna punch it down. Just gonna kind of get the air out. Get sensitive wrists. And I'm gonna leave it for another 10 minutes, and then the action starts. All right, welcome back. So I'm gonna punch the dough down one more time, and let's start making some bagels. So got a nice knife here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it in half so I have two even sides, best I can really. Alright. Roll that out. Alright, now for this I gotta cut into 8 equal parts. Alright, so cut it in half. See all the bubbles and stuff in there, you know, that's a good risen bread there. Alright, now I've got cut it in half again, and then from there, you guessed it, one more time. Alright, so I'm gonna do that with all of these pieces here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Looks like these bagels are a little bit bigger than those bagels. What are you gonna do, right? So I'll do these 8 first, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll them into nice little balls, and then we'll be right back. All right. So I told my daughter that I would make her raisin cinnamon bagels, or cinnamon raisin, whatever order you wanted. So I got raisins and cinnamon. I mean, there might be more to it than this, but I'm gonna just gonna wing it and toss some raisins in there, bit of cinnamon, and see if I can work this together. I honestly have no idea what the hell I'm doing, so we're all in it together, right? Tell you, it smells good. I just gotta get those raisins in there, right? It's hard to say if I should have done this way earlier in the process or not. Like I said, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Hopefully they work out. I gotta get them in there good because once I boil this stuff, if the raisins are all just going to fall out, well then this whole ordeal was pointless. And I'll have learned a lesson. But I'm also stubborn. I don't really care that much, because, hey, we got plenty of time together, people. Okay, so most of these raisins are sticking in here. Kind of to the outside, so I just gotta see if I can incorporate those in. I'm just gonna keep moving this around and do my thing. Okay, I think they're sticking. A lot of them are kind of to the outside of the dough. I'm gonna kind of push them in there. What the hell I'm doing? Ugh. I probably shouldn't do something more complicated like cinnamon raisin bagels. It's the first time I ever decide to make bagels, but as a wise man once said, I do what I do and I don't what I don't. I'm not going to tell you who that wise person was. You can figure that one out for yourself. Alright, so I think this is actually working. Got the raisins in here. They're all staying. They're all cooperating. So, just like I did with the other bagels, I am going to cut this in half. Cut in half again. Actually, I was going to make mini bagels of this, so I'm going to try and attempt to cut this into 8 equal portions. So, cut her in half. You see it. Got the raisins incorporated there, so not the end of the world. I struggle a bit. Cut that in half. And I'm going to cut that in half again. Alright. Okay, so I've got 8 pieces of raisin bagel. I'll put these together. I'll see you right back. Okay, so I have my bagels in trays here. So I'm just going to take one at a time. And so I have it on with a cloth on top that's wet. So apparently I'm just supposed to take this ball, kind of stick my, my finger in there, and create your bagel. As for how long you want to make it or whatever, I mean, these are really going to expand. I mean, I'm assuming when I put them in the water and boil them, and after when I bake them as well. So if it's anything like pretzels, which pretty much is the exact same thing, then I can expect quite a bit of expansion after they seep in all that moisture. Okay, so I'm gonna roll these all out and do my thing, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I've made everything into like a donut shape or bagel shape. Probably bagel shape because I'm making bagels, right? So now what I gotta do is boil them. So I also have to let them sit for another 10 minutes with a wet cloth on top, and then I'm gonna start boiling them. When they're boiled, we'll top them and we'll stick them right in that oven. Stay tuned. Okay, so I got the bagels ready to go. They've been sitting for 10 minutes. Got the pot of boiling water, and now I'm gonna stick them in. So apparently I just have to put in as many as I can fit, really. Alright, I'll put a couple in there. Okay, I'll do 4, and I'm supposed to wait a minute. So you do a minute on each side, flip them over, and then I'm gonna stick them back on here, and then I'm gonna egg wash them. But actually, I'm not gonna use egg because my wife's vegetarian, or sorry, vegan. So I'm gonna use some cashew milk or something so that I can get the topping on top. All right. Okay, so this is what the bagels look like. this is the first couple I made. As you can see, based on how big the circles you make in the middle will kind of define how wide they go, obviously. So for the rest of them, after I saw the first batch go through, I widened them a bit. It was actually easier to do after they sat for a bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my mixture. So if you want to use eggs, go ahead and use eggs. But I'm going to use cashew milk. I pretty much do the exact same thing. And I've got my everything bagel seasoning. And just give her on that. Oh yeah. It's a nice looking bagel. Alright, so I'm going to do that with the rest of them. And then I'm going to boil these cinnamon raisin ones too. Alright, these bad boys are ready to go in the oven now. I topped them all, they're ready to go. So I got the oven at 425. Gonna do it for about 20 minutes. And then we'll go from there. Alright, here's the end result. I think it's pretty good. Some of them are a little weirdly shaped, but you gotta practice, right? This one looks pretty good. That's a good looking bagel. Alright, well there you go. I've never done this before. Here we go. Now you should have all the confidence in the world to do it yourself. It wasn't that hard. You gotta do it in steps. I'll post the recipe in case anyone wants to know what I kind of did it from, and go out there and give it your all.